Hey guys, getting used to my new camera on my new phone, and so we're trying a little bracket to help position and all that stuff. And I don't have the same voice features with my old phone. It was a Samsung Galaxy S5 that lasted for a good many years, and I could say record video, and it would start recording. I could hold up my stuff for the thumbnail photograph, and I could say shoot or smile or capture, something like that, and it would, there's no need for a timer or anything like that. It was so convenient. This is a Motorola phone, and I'm really happy with it in so many regards, but it doesn't have those nice voice features. So we're in Austere August, and unfortunately the new phone also doesn't have very good features where I can hold up an item close to the lens and have it focus very well. So we're going to be using the Nacet today inside the Fatip, and this is the open comb version, same as the Grande, but it's the Piccolo handle. This is the special edition black and gold that comes with the two base plates. We also have the Semogue Owners Club, and it is the Taj handle. As you can see, I had a great shave with it yesterday. I picked well, even with just 10 shaves on it. This performed so well. Soft tips, nice easy splay. There are definitely plenty of tips here that have started to split already, so we're dealing in nice comfort, good density, because there's a good bit of bristles in this particular brush. And the Martin de Candre is the soap, and Vetiver is the choice for this month of Austere August. Yesterday I loaded for 30 seconds and 7 teaspoons of water. I got 7 passes of lather. So let's back down that water a little bit. I can probably back down the soap as well, but let's just, for grins, change one variable at a time. And because I am doing 4 passes of shaving with this old Nacet blade, and so a couple extra passes, 7 seems like a lot of passes, but it's just kind of 3 extra passes when you consider a 4-pass shave, so that's not really too bad. So let's not change the load time variable too much. Now here's something interesting though. I measured this in terms of weight, just this part, soap and tub, right before yesterday's shave, and it was 334, I think. I measured it just now. I weighed it just now, and it was 360. So I guess we're looking at some water absorption, but that's why we're going to measure it kind of every day or every couple of days, because we'll be able to see a trend. I did not soak it. It is a hard soap, but I did not soak it before, and it loaded just fine, so I don't believe I'm going to worry about that in the future. So let me get that brush back in the water, and let's now put the blade in the razor. I do have an index card counter, because the envelope, I filled it up with dots pretty much. At least it's a nice round number, 300 right now. So this is my counter for the blade, and so the 3rd dot there represents yesterday. I shaved with it 2 other times over above the 300 mark. All right, so as usual, I'm going to do my normal routine where I put the blade here. Nothing special about this. You can just put it down on the ground, on the counter if you want, or just whatever. So for the Fatip, I like to have the base plate fairly level, and then I drop it on there, and I just drop the base plate on, because one of the things the Fatips are known for is you might have to tweak the alignment yourself, because sometimes there's a lot of play in the blade. Yesterday and today, it has aligned perfectly with just a simple drop method, So pretty cool. All right, ready to go. So let me get my face wet. Now for the shave yesterday, I shaved with more growth, about a day and a half of growth, maybe even more than that. So it was a bit tuggy. The Nacet definitely does not like to have more than 1 day of growth at this stage in its life with most razors. And so today is a little bit short of 24 hours because we're kind of compensating and changing the times and things like that. All right, so let's do that 30-second load. 47 right there, just rolled around. So going to 17, and as you can see, it immediately gets airy and puffy. Now this is a very light lather, and so you don't, I wouldn't worry too much about just flushing all this airy stuff down the tubes if you wanted to, because it just doesn't really contain all that much soap. But what I do is I do grab the kind of the thicker stuff myself and put it in my bowl. So I'll rinse this, or you know what you could do, just what I've done a few times lately, take this stuff and put it on your face as just a kind of a pre-shave oil dispersion, because my face is oily. This is actually pretty slick. I could shave with this right now. Do I have a pausable finger that I can pause you? So this is a messy soap, as you could see. Right. So I did bring some of that airiness into the bowl here. Soaked the brush for a few minutes prior to the shave. So 7 teaspoons of water yesterday. I'm going to maybe shoot for 5. I want to get a little bit drier. I want to see, can I get a creamy experience, because the 7 teaspoons was not a creamy texture. It rinsed easily on the face. It provided nice slickness. However, if you're looking for, something in your hands that just kind of feels decadent, that wasn't it. It was more of a performance lather. Now, with the brush and stuff, it felt great. Don't get me wrong, on your face. But between your fingers, it was a very light, watery, soapy kind of slickness. And I'm going to be pretty quick to go ahead and add water here. I'm not going to mix it for too long, since I know I'm going to be adding a bit of water to it. Quite a bit of water. So just whenever it looks like I kind of have everything integrated. I'll go ahead and, nothing wrong with going fast on some soaps. Yeah, some might require you to add water more slowly, but some are not picky at all. I would venture to say most are not picky. See, already we have got a nice looking lather. I'm really happy with this new camera. The camera in the old other phone had such a narrow field of view. I also reduced the video quality on this one because, man, it was like a 6 gig video that I took yesterday. By the time I put all the pieces together, and it's YouTube, it doesn't need to be such high resolution. So I backed it down 1 notch. Okay, so we have 4. It didn't take too long, see, to add the 4 teaspoons. And now we'll use the 5th teaspoon there. So I'm happy that I can kind of include my face here, because nobody wants to talk to a chest, right? Nobody wants to watch an arm and a chest mix up soap and shave, I think. But I'm also able to show you the lather mixing too. I'll get the habit down right with the new phone. So this looks terrific. It's got a nice glossy sheen to it. So it's an attractive lather visually. Of course, that doesn't really matter all that much when it's on your face, right? This has got a pretty strong lasting scent to it. I was able to smell it after the shave quite a bit, even after putting a balm on and another scented splash. Decided to go with the Soap Commander Integrity as the post shave. It's an unscented balm. All right, looks like we've got a good bit of lather. It has a nice sheen. I believe I've mixed it for long enough. We do have a few bubbles in there, but I've really found that they're just not really an issue in general. If it's a good soap, if it has some bubbles, you're still fine. If it's got some bubbles and it's a bad soap, then it's not the bubbles that made it bad, it's the soap in general. All right, so we've given the face a good rinse. And now we will load up the brush and we'll just see what kind of lather we get. By using less water, do we get something creamy? Do we get something that's still nice and slick? Fougere is another scent that MdC has that I actually like better. But when I tried it, it was too light. If I ever run across another tub of it, I might try it again. Yeah, so this definitely looks like a lather I might add some water to in the past. I mean, with my normal, level of my normal preferences. Let's feel this lather here. Yeah, see, that's definitely got a creamier feel, a slight higher viscosity there. Definitely more luxury feel. So let's just, I think I might add just a few drops of water to my brush here. I think sometimes the first pass needs a little bit more water than the others. Brush is just being terrific. Very soft. No, it's not as soft as a Badger, but I mean, really, if I was stuck somewhere and I had this brush, I don't think really I'd miss my Badgers all that much. All right. All right, Nacet. Here we go. Definitely being nicer, kinder to my face, since I don't have the day and a half of growth. A little bit of tugging, but it's all good. Not too bad. Lots of good looking lather here. It does look too dry, to be honest with you. And sometimes you can feel that it's too dry because the razor just tugs more than it might normally. And this, I'm speaking in general terms, not just with an old blade like the Nacet. There we go, and we will rinse. And hitting that pause button causes the phone to move a little bit. I'm gonna have to maybe put some rubber grips on that mount that I've got there, which is a picture frame holder that's tilted. I've got the phone rubber banded to it because otherwise it would fall forward since it's tilted down. Hey, my boy is doing well. He's having to walk around with his hand elevated. You know, got bitten by a snake, probably a copperhead. It's all blistered and black and blue and things like that, but he's in good spirits, and normal medication, you know, Tylenol, ibuprofen, seems to be all that's needed to manage the pain, so I'm really happy about that. So he's doing well, for those of you who were asking about him. All right, so that's the first pass down. Let's see how we feel on the second. Kind of a cross grain pattern is what I usually choose on the second. And this is always a more comfortable pass than the first. Very good. I believe that this MdC soap is a vegan soap, and I could kind of tell a little bit. It just doesn't have that same buttery tallow quality. It's nice. So I do have a thicker mix this time, of course, because I didn't use as much water. And I just did the second rinse. And it, the luxury feel kind of on your face as you're doing the rinse is slightly increased over yesterday's really wet lather that just didn't have any feel to it. It doesn't compare to the newer tallow bases, or actually any of the good tallow bases, in terms of the just kind of the feel on your face, you know. Now, when it's on your face and you're working with the brush and the razor, you're going to get a good feel. But when you're rinsing and if you might be used to something like, you know, those good tallow soaps, or even a really good vegan soap like the new Southern Witchcraft's base that I tried recently, then this guy's not going to feel as good. Also, you know, this is more of a soap. The other ones have butters and oils and things like that. So, this is the third pass. I'm interested to see how close the result is here. See if I can stop at 3 or if I need to do 4. Right now, my face feels really good. You know, when you're moving the lather kind of around like this, this is a very good, very slick soap. All right, feeling good. Rinse time. yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with that closeness in terms of just the 3 passes. I think I helped myself. After each main pass was done, I took the lather accumulated in my goatee, spread it around in my trouble spots so that I could kind of hit it twice with each pass, and I think that's given me a pretty good shave here. One notable thing is that this really seems like a soap. It with the lack of the butters and all the moisturizing ingredients, it rinses squeaky clean. I just got that as I was kind of rinsing, and so I think you're looking at a real soaper's soap, right? And this was a kind of a thick mix. I would not want to go any drier. The first pass maybe felt a little too thick, like I wasn't quite getting the slickness that I might prefer. So I think somewhere in between the 5 teaspoons and the 7 teaspoons, it's a good range for me and my preferences and for this brush. Remember the 30-second load is what we're dealing with. I have tons of lather left over here because I only did 3 passes, and so I could definitely start reducing that ratio. And look, we've got some pretty decent elasticity here toward the end of the shave. It didn't really seem to have this at the beginning. A little too much stiffness, but I'm really happy with the shave. It's very interesting. I think I'll pay attention in the future to that, the feel of that first pass of shaving, the tugging feel. It did feel like I was maybe a little bit too dry. And then, of course, it always improves with the second and third pass, the feeling, even with such an old blade, very comfortable, that sort of thing. I've got my rinse. So here we're going to use the balm that we're going to be using the entire month. And Soap Commander was one of the more recommended balms. This time I'll do a little dollop smaller than a dime, because I think I overdid it last time. It used to be one of the more often recommended balms, and then Zingari Man came out, and people have just really been loving it, and for good reason, I believe. But the Soap Commander is still a very good balm. Yeah, this is a better amount of product here. The other absorbed really easily. It looked white on my face when I was done applying it, but it did absorb in just a few minutes, like I said that it would. And so this is the menthol-free. Except for Integrity menthol-free, all the rest of them have menthol, even the normal Integrity. So be on the lookout for that if you prefer a non-mentholated balm. All right, so feels good. The Vetiver scent wasn't quite as dominant on my face this time. So we will reduce the load time next. Boy, I know that I could get 3 passes out of what's left in that bowl. So we're looking at 6 passes of lather, approximately. And there we go. I'm happy with that shave. So that would be number 304. Yep. So I'll put a dot on the little index card. What might we do tomorrow? Yeah, I think let's start reducing the load time. Just play with it that way. I don't know that I'll do too much face lathering this time, because the goal with this month is to see how much usage, how much of this soap gets used per month in this month, so that I can then forecast how long the tub will last, because I'm really curious. It's an expensive soap, but my thought is it's going to last a long time, and that might justify the cost when you look at the math. All right, guys, there we go. It's a good shave. Back on track, I think, with my schedule. I've got a good little camera stand right here. Pretty happy with that. You guys take care. And this is Sugar Daddy Shaves, and I hope there's been something in this video to help you out. Good night.